So a lot of.
And believe me, we have a gift for you in the speaker that we have for you. It's not going to be the whole lunch, like Kathy said. It's about 10-15 minutes. Sean is going to talk. We've heard about dyslexics and about dyslexics who have made it in the workplace, like Charles Schwab, Thomas Edison, Whoopi Goldberg. But usually we don't hear about the other side of the coin, those who fall between the cracks, those who were let down by the school systems and families, not intentionally, but because of ignorance. The statistics tell us that over 50% of inmates are illiterate. Most of you have heard that before. Today, we're very fortunate to have a person who used to fit in that over 50% group. Yes, Sean is here. He's 2 years out of prison. Not being able to read has presented unbelievable challenges to him. I was fortunate to be able to meet Sean in Columbus when he gave testimony to the Senate Education Committee. Wow, were those senators impressed with his talk. There you could hear a pin drop. Those eyes and ears were on Sean. And then I had the good fortune of meeting him again at the signing of the bills in December. Sean is those of you who saw the picture on our website or saw the picture of the signing of the bill, Sean is that African American in that picture. Sean comes to us from Columbus. His passion and gift now is speaking to groups, sharing his story for the purpose of keeping kids in school and off the streets. How many of us want to do that? Sean will be available at his table. He's directly across the hall during lunch and at the break and after the meeting. For those of you who might want to speak to him, he also has an Intel reader with you. Do have it with you, don't you, Sean? He has an Intel reader with him. He'll gladly show you how that works. He has a sign-up sheet. If anybody wants him to come to your school or to your community to talk, he'd be happy to do that. I want to tell you a short story about Sean literally cannot read. And someone gave him an Intel reader. When he got it, Sean stayed up all night with that Intel reader, taking pictures of books and reading. And that was the first time that he was having print read to him. Sean, I think that's amazing. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Sean Stevenson.
How y'all doing out there? Pleasure speaking to y'all today. I'll tell y'all a little bit about myself and my venture with this dyslexia, journey into dyslexia. I'm trying to journey out of it right now. But started when I was young. I didn't know I had it. I just knew I was having difficulties in schools. My participation in class was terrible. And a lot of people said I was acting out. Can y'all hear me in the back? Can you hear me now? I hate talking to microphones. But I'm glad to be here because I want to share this with y'all. Living with dyslexia has been difficult. I served over 20 years in the prison due to my reading and writing. And when I was in school, because I was looked at as the bad guy and bullied, little did they know some of the teachers helped make me that bully. Because when the teachers would ask me to come to the board and write in front of people, my peers, that made me shut down. So So I then began to reach out at the people around me, which were my classmates and my teachers. And teachers have to understand sometimes, right now in society you hear about this bullying. Sometimes you and the parents become the bullies. Especially if the parents is always telling the kid they'll be nothing because they don't read and write. And then when the teacher doesn't see what's going on because they miss it, you tell a guy to come to the board and speak or something, and he goes to cutting up, you'll be like, Dad, what's up with this guy? He's a problem. Well, the problem was you by putting him on front like that. Because you see a kid cutting up in the classroom, ask yourself two questions. Is this kid smart in this area? Is there something bothering? And just watch his mannerism and who he's associated with. Y'all read books, I read people. And that's what I told the people at the State House. This is a gift God gave me. I was just out front, and the lady was asking me to help put the boxes on the table, and I just started laughing. People take for granted, nobody doesn't read and write because they hear you speak or they see you. There's a lot of people who don't read and write because they take it for granted because we don't know what to look for. But it's just the little things. I just go public with it now. And I used to be the lousy guy. A lot of people know me from my case, which is, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Freeway Ricky Ross. That's my co-defendant. He's the guy being on the A&E Discovery Channel. That's my crime partner. That's why so many kids look up to me and follow me because of my old lifestyle in the streets. So what I did, I took my old lifestyle and utilized it in a positive manner. If y'all want to follow me and be around me, you got to learn certain things. Let's get an education. Be respectable manner. Respect your elders and stay in school. So we on this thing right now. I created a program called End the Violence. And I started it in prison. Seen a lot of stuff, man, and when I look at y'all, it's funny to see y'all like this, because I never thought I'd be standing there doing it. And believe me, I was the guy who never wanted to be in front of people talking. But if it helps people, I don't mind doing it. But I look at what society promotes to kids and to adults. In order to be somebody, you have to have two things, education and money. And they tell and promote in society without those two things, you're nothing. I disagree. And I'm sure y'all know why. Because what kids see, there's a lot of kids who are not educated. But not just the kids, the parents. Because we know this is passed down. But how do you work with a kid whose parents can't work with them? The parents don't know what to look for because they was kids when they was having kids. And they had dyslexic as well. And at the time, dyslexic, me and Doctor was talking about it the other day, Dr. Shaw. We was on the radio at a radio station talking about dyslexia and introducing it to the community in the city of Columbus. And I plan on going national with this. I want everybody to know what dyslexia is. Maybe we can get some people and get some help for the young people. But I have the young people let them know, don't be ashamed of it. It's a gift. Certain things y'all know how to do, I can do a little better in certain areas, vice versa. I'd like to just say, while we're here today with Dr. Shaw, while we was on the radio, there was a lot of people that called in, and people see me. I talk to people all the time, and they tell me they don't believe that I don't read and write. I ask them what I need, a helmet on, I need to be slobbering or something, because that's what they feel. You say you have some problems and some issues, you need a helmet on. I have a PO that I have to report to every month. He don't believe me. To this day, he still don't believe me. He tells me, Sean, quit playing. You think I play with something like that? But people don't understand. So we have to get this out there in the community. More than anything, we have to watch the young people and see what's really going on with them. I went up to the school the other day. I went to one of the classes. One of the kids called me from in the class. When I was in school, you couldn't talk on the phone in class. They called me in the class on the phone. Hey, OG, come up here. I was just telling the doctor this, and I came up to the school, and the teachers and them was looking at me crazy, like, who's this guy? What is he doing in here? You somebody's dad, or I'm looking at him, just looking. And the kid told the teacher, oh no, that's the OG. The teacher was like, OG, what's that? So the other kid stood up and said, oh, that's the OG, homie. He's a mentor to the kids. So the teacher's like, oh, what do you do, Mrs. Stevenson? I said, well, I come when there's a problem such as this, and start explaining a little bit about dyslexia and how it affects kids and why the kids have a hard time understanding the teachers. A lot of the kids don't understand what the problem is. And I try to take time out, I take it to my apartment. I was going to say crib, but I can't remember what I'm talking to. But I take them to my apartment and sit them down and we talk. I talk to a lot of the gang members. Here it is, I'm going to lunch with the mayor and the chief of police, You know how that feels? I was telling Doc the other day, I was on the corner talking on the phone. A police cruiser pulled up on me. I started to run. But I had on house shoes, and that's the only reason I didn't run. And I said to Doc, I went in the house and laid across my bed. I was sweating. I was like, man, what's going on? I was getting ready to run. I know I ain't done nothing. But they didn't beat me in the head while I was incarcerated so long, just being through that environment. We don't have any trust in the people in the community. And the community don't trust in us. So with the help of you teachers and myself and a lot of other people that I have come on board, I hope we can get through to a lot of people, I hope to attend a lot more conventions with you all and bring in some guests, who can get through to the kids. Because sometimes it takes that bridge to make that happen. We're visual people. I see a lot of women in here and less men. And I was saying to somebody out there, we need more male role models. And they falling off the planet right now. So, that plays a big role too. I was standing in the back counting how many women are in here that are teachers or principals or whatever y'all may be. And I'm looking at how many men in here. Kids are very visual, so when they come in there, they don't only look at that, they look at the color of a person, what a person's wearing, the way the person walks, speaks. All that plays a role. We got to get kids to open up because we don't know how to converse with the children of the day. Music plays a big role. The TV plays a bigger role with all these reality shows. We got to find something for them to do. I was looking at one of the books. What's the name? Wrote. I think every teacher in the world needs to know about dyslexia. They need to read one of her books, even the first stage. I have a couple of ideas that we could do to help the kids in these schools. I've been asked to come to schools now, but when I first came home and I was trying to get into the schools, it's funny because when I was young, I was fighting like hell to get out of school. Now I'm fighting like hell to get into school. I'm saying this is backwards. I'm fighting to get into a school. I'm saying, man, this is crazy. Hell, y'all couldn't wait to get rid of me when I was in the play. Now I'm fighting to get back in. And they look at me like, Mr. Stevenson, your background. Wow, my background, huh? So I did a little march in the city of Columbus just to show the teachers and them about my background. That's what I used to be and who I was and who y'all labeled me. But when they seen all the kids and the teenagers and the parents walking behind me, I started getting calls. Sean, you think you come by the school, we need to holler at you. That means speak to you, if y'all know what holler means. But I'm just jigging. But they call me now, they want to talk to me. I even have senators calling me now, and it's funny, I never thought I'd be working with them either. I said, what the hell's going on? I got people calling me I never thought I'd meet. People tell me all the time, Sean, I've never met the mayor. What are you doing? I said, I don't know, God bless me, I guess. But I'm glad to be here with y'all today. If you have any questions, and I'm going to tell y'all about that Intel reader too. That was the best thing I think I ever got. I was like a little kid for Christmas when I got that thing. I read every book in the crib. House. But I read everything that I wanted to read in the house with the Intel reader that Ben False sent me. He sent it directly to me, and then he called me and asked me, did I get it? I told him, yeah. And I was just telling Doc a couple of weeks ago, I just met my father. And I'm 43, just meeting him. And he met me when he seen me on the news introducing the Intel reader at one of the schools in Columbus, Ohio. And that's when he realized I was his son, because he said he didn't read and write either. So when he seen me on the news introducing the Intel reader, he knew I was his son. and called me and asked me to come to his house, so I got to meet my dad. You know, so that was real cool, you know. And he was a bad guy too, so they labeled him, you know, but he's all right now. You know, he's a motivational speaker as well. He's a counselor for NA and AA. You know, so that was cool getting to meet him. But the Intel readers have been nothing but a blessing for me. Hope to see y'all around.
Thank you.
But there was another program he went through, and he's certainly successful now, but he went through the whole juvenile delinquent thing, and the drugs and all that. And part of the thing that his tutor worked with is they wrote his story. So he learned to write it out and everything.
I'm working on it now.
Yeah, which is really bad.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Good for
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Good for you. How does the intent...
Cantrell was 49 years old. I started with him, he didn't know the basic sounds. After about 8 or 9 months, he was beginning to sound out really. I wish I could have stayed with him so long, but he ran out of that time to the institute.
Right.
But you just remind me so much of him. I'm so happy.
Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great.
How does that Intel leader
Yes.
interested in learning to read, going through the process?
Yes, a great deal of men want to read and wish they knew how, but the teachers don't know how to teach it, and the teachers don't teach them.
Well, I'm thinking of just being a tutor.
Right, but the teachers don't even, that's the sad thing. You know, in prison, you have to teach yourself.
Well, so that one is a possibility. That if,
Oh, yeah,
that if I went to a prison tonight, anybody that comes to, I could get into, there would be people there that would
And there's people who would sign up. Guaranteed. Thank you.
I thought of one in particular as soon as I saw you up there that he can hardly read. He's not dyslexic, but he came to us so far behind. And he's in 8th grade now. He's like starting to go down the gang path. And I'm trying to pull him back in, but he lives 2 blocks from the school. And it's just so hard. I have so many kids that can benefit from
Make sure you holler at us. We can get back up here.
Most definitely. I would love to. Yeah, it's down in South Fairmount. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And I'll get back up here and show the principal. The principal was like, "Did you show the class?" So I showed the class, and the class went off. Then they put me on the news feed, and I was on the news showing the people everywhere the news was at, showing them how to use it. And now they're trying to get it into the prisons and in the schools because it would bring up the grades of everybody and keep a lot of people loose and be on the street. Had they had this when I was out there in school, this would have been so beneficial. The sad thing is it's been out since 2007, and a lot of people don't even know about it.
How much they cost?
It was 1,000, but now it's what, 500 or something. It's 500. And the crazy thing is that, you know, the iPhone don't do it. You know, none of these phones do this stuff. And it does everything. You know, this does everything.
Like, you could probably read this really well. Have you ever tried to read something that's kind of blurry
Our magazine, yeah,
or
focuses
something
in
that's
everything.
not?
And that's the actual size of the print, as it
Oh yeah,
can you
you
change
make
that?
each size and what they're trying to do is fix it in different ways.
Oh, okay.
But over all the sizes, you can make it spell in many words you want it fast. You know how fast you read the curve.
Right.
And you can make it slow down.
Could it do something like this that's got like a gray behind it? Will it still be able to pick up words?
More than likely to it. And what we're going to do, I'm going to test it in front of you.
Okay, all right, I'm curious.
And then it comes with a headset, correct?
Yes, it has a headset. So what you do, you go to the shoot mode on the Intel reader. You hold it, it's the camera. It takes the picture through that, and then it processes it. Might be too much light right there. Yeah, that's too much light right there. just took the picture. Processing.
Processing.
Now it processes everything. When it does, it tells you. Then the words come up here and it starts reading it to you out loud. Or you can go by the headphones or whatever you want to do.
So you take a picture of it.
Right, take a picture of anything.
And I was asking if it would work on something that's got like color different
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
How much are they running these days?
It's a 500 now. It was 1,000.
Well, and that's why I didn't get it for my son, because it was too
So
many
much.
digits. So it's nice to hear that it's coming down. And is it even getting up?
I don't know why they can't get together with Kindle or something else and get the
Texas
Kindle.
went first.
Yeah, kind of like the drug manufacturers having a copyright on a file.
When she thought it over afterwards, it occurred to her that she ought to have one
I think we slow it down.
natural, but with the rapid
But
action.
can we listen to that?
Well, he's at the level that
So is the color background blue?
Yeah, oh, that won't even bother.
Or you can, well, no, because they say having a different color background for reading. Someone is dyslexic is beneficial.
The whole miracle's coming together.
See, my thing is this far, and I was trying to explain to everybody.
All right, that's what mine is. Mine just went on 18. Exactly. When he started saying, I'm back to school, I'm just taking one class until I get the system down. And then I'll pick a second class, and then so he's on his way back to get it. Yeah.
That one was right.
We're in common. And then he was gonna probably transfer to Ohio State, which is like,
Doesn't like it?
size and stuff,
It's processing everything.
How long does the battery last?
Charge off the segment. It depends on how many times you take a picture.
Can you see what it is? Because it's red now.
just his ownership.
Probably pick that up because it's cold. Now processing. See how I pick that up?
Right, you don't have it in format. It's in your, and I heard about it, it was $1,000. And then knowing how they're gonna take it, you will still get it, that's just the right minute.
Whatever is not picking up, that's why I do it. Like if I take a picture of this,
That would be perfect.
yes, right, that's out.
I mean, it's,
Shooting it off. You know, when I show my friends, I have people come to the house. Like I said, they had me on the news, and the guy at the news couldn't believe it. You know, they did a big interview on it. But the kids went crazy in school. The kids really love it. You know, they said it's easier to work for them. You know, because they don't have to go to their parents and ask for help. And then if they don't understand something, they can replay it as many times as it takes them to get whatever they
fairly
get.
easy to.
Oh, most definitely. Ben talked me through it the first time. The guy who sent it to me told me on the phone how to use it right then and there. Like, Sean, did you get that? See how I got it? He said, listen, take it out of the box.
Nice.
Yeah, totally cool. You know, best thing in the world. I appreciate it. You know, but I'm trying to get this in the schools and in the prisons, so these young people test scores can stay in school, and it'll help the gang members leave the games alone. You know, if the schools don't show you love, you're gonna find some way to get them. It's normally in the school.
How much is one of these?
Well, this one was 1,000, now they 500. So they vary. But there's different numbers. It depends on what size it is. Right. Like I said, I'm trying to get them in the public schools. See where I can get them.
So you're saying they're wanting larger screens or bigger
Various things.
capacity?
Yeah, they do various things. It depends on which one you get. And she was just telling me that the lady was just saying, Dr. Charlotte, that the guy who works for Intel is going to come around and do demonstrations. We're going to sit in the same.
Houses also often where people reduce color, all that kind of stuff. One of the effects of lead poison prevention in early childhood is dyslexia. I just want you to use data that shows that folks have been in prison because of higher rate of mental health.
Right.
Do you know about yourself when you were exposed to lead as a child? Do you know what your lead levels might have been?
No, but I do know that we had frequent living conditions. Moving from place to place. Because I was in the streets, my parents were in the streets. So, the lifestyle and the way they get on you, there's no question. And I'm sure they was in some abandoned house because my mother was bank robbery. Did a lot of things. So, I'm sure there was some lead somewhere.
Yeah, because unfortunately it's irreversible. They can teach you all year long. Stuff that's going to be very
Well, and the bad thing is, it came out so late. I just found out not too long ago. Dr. Charlotte showed me a DVD, Journey into Dyslexia. And I took some friends to look at the DVD at Coastside. And when we looked at it, my friends was crying. And they was telling me, they was crying while the movie was going. And they told me they didn't know I lived like that. I said, yeah, but it was awakening to me because I didn't know so many people had it. I didn't know so many people were affected by it.
Well, I don't have the money to do this right now, but if I get together some money to have like a round table with speakers or something about different effects, would you be interested?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's down in Cincinnati. You don't mind coming back?
No.
This sign I'm going to take down.
I'm sorry, right here.
And I'm going to take your to do that when you're in prison. To get her out of prison.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I do what I can. And I think I wanted to say more, but I tried to keep it brief. Okay, thank you.
Show me how it works.
Oh, yes. Find the document you want to take a picture of. Go to shoot. Camera's here. Hit this button and it takes the picture. Process it.
Information, like a card I could give my husband.
Yes, I think Doc has it.
Okay, because my husband, I don't know, have you heard of Jobs Plus? It's an organization locally that helps young men who are in prison and women get a job afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
So I wanted to do this.
Yes, most definitely.
Processing. Texas Conservation Stevenson Cobb. Sunbury Avenue, California, June.
I'm trying to get it processed.
He doesn't have the card. Just you have to contact me. If you take that.
Picture of the document and
Here, this email right here.
Process.
We had bunches of sheets of paper.
it's about 300. Is that about right?
5 now. They used to be 1,000. Now they 500. But I'm trying to get them to give them to the schools and to the prisons. That way we can keep people out of the street. Oh man. We just did a talk show. We just went on the radio, Dr. Charlotte and Senator Celeste. 3 days ago, and that's up on Talk Chamber Radio, talking about that.
Contact
Question for you that doesn't have to deal with just wondering from your experience, if you have any suggestions for teachers working with students that you know they're have probably a lot of their behavior, if you have any little tips that you could offer in what you wish somebody would have done or said to you to try to get you to be more active in your learning.
I think I would have got more active about seeing people care a little more and take a little time out to see what the problem is.
How would we have shown you that we cared? Because I guess we feel like we are showing, and yet we're not getting the response that we hope.
More attention. Part of all, just like I was saying, a lot of times people ask me to come to the board, and they try to help. They don't mean harm, but the kids take it another way. That's what makes them angry at everybody. So pull them up after class, drop by and speak to him at his home in front of the parents. Because the parents don't know what dyslexia is either. So how do you explain it to the parents? Well, the problem, somebody like you out there explaining to the parents.
So by us coming to your house, elementary, okay, you would have been comfortable with that. That doesn't really care.
Most definitely. Because I'm in my comfort zone. Nobody's gonna laugh at me.
We actually pulled the containers out of the area, we work on the desk, we don't really come up to the blackboard like you're saying, and then we get a lot of negative vibes from them. They still don't want us. They don't want that help. They don't want to accept it.
Well, that's how they feel because that's what they're told about people you see them from afar. You gotta remember, you pulled up as a small group of you ride a small bus with your bus. All the labels are put on you.
So that's what I guess
that's why you can't do it in front of people.
What do we do as educators to try to lead?
If they can read on the mailing letters, telling them that I believe in them, you can do it.
Would that have helped? Well,
oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please. So if you want me to take a picture to the car, I just took a picture of this document. Take a picture of the process. Magazines, whatever.
wow. There doesn't one piece of the
And how fast?
You can slow it down and you can speed it up. Depends on how quick you hear what it's saying. And the good thing about it, you can put it on repeat, make it play again. So you don't have to keep asking the teacher. Can you read it again?
So you have an earpiece or something, a headset?
Sure do.
Oh, yeah.
It comes with an earpiece and all that. And you can plug it up to the computer.
How many pages do you have in your account?
It varies. It depends on how. Yeah, right.
There's more than one.
Oh, most definitely. You can do it all day.
You want to take a picture of every page in the chapter and then sit in the chapter.
Right. It's later. Yeah. I just got a new book in the mail the other day from my partner. He's locked up. He wrote a book about working with gang members. And he told me to read the book.
So a lot of so a lot